Hi, and welcome to the Tranquil Cottage Knits podcast. I'm your host, Michelle. You can find me on Instagram as Tranquil Cottage Knits, Ravelry as Tranquil Cottage. You can find the blog at www.tranquilcottagenits.weebly.com, and you can find the Facebook group just by searching for Tranquil Cottage Knits in your Facebook search bar. So I hope everyone is doing well. You may notice the little change of venue we have here. This is, everybody I think knows that I live in the Shenandoah Valley, and it was my husband and my dream to move here. We absolutely love it, and there's a lot of history and a lot of really cool stuff. Behind me, you will notice the infamous Bing Crosby Stadium. It's like such a cool place. It's where we have all of our local baseball games. Some of the youth groups use it, but it's a wonderful resource, and it's maintained kind of by the teams that play in the Parks and Rec department. But how it got its name was like back in 1949 when they were trying to do fundraising for the stadium. Bing Crosby agreed to do a fundraiser to help raise the funds, and then he attended like all of the events that were held around the area in his honor, and then in the end he ended up donating what was left of the gap that was needed to build the stadium. So that's kind of a cool piece of local history here, and it was just this is Miller Park, which is attached to Bing Crosby Stadium. So the stadium is right back there, and this park has a lovely creek that runs through it. It's just, I don't know, it's just a lovely area. I am getting my break from being kind of, on duty, caring for my mother-in-law, and it's just a nice day to be out. It is cold, but I've got hand knits, right? So if a knitter can't be warm, what's wrong with this picture? Speaking of warm, you will see the very first thing that I have on is, I didn't put the shawl on, so I don't have anything else. This is my hat. I knit this hat this week. I cast on the brim one day. I was kind of sleepy and didn't want to get into the pattern, so I did the rest of the hat the next day. Zoomed on through it. So I think I started it Thursday, finished it on Friday. And the pattern is called the Yakutat hat. And it is by Carrie Peterson. And she has Curious Conundrums. She's got some really useful videos on YouTube, so you should totally check her out. And she's got some cute patterns. And I'll show you a closer up picture of her version in all its glory. And then, forget the hat head. Here's mine in all its glory. I just absolutely love the colors of this. And anybody who knows me knows that I cannot stand my nose being cold. So I added a noni warmer. And so I have buttons in here to tuck it into, and it just goes like that. And so, when my nose gets cold, I am absolutely miserable to be around. I am grumpy and just, I have a temper. It's just so bad. When my nose is cold, I am such an unhappy camper. I don't care if my feet are cold, my hands, none of that matters. If my nose is cold, I'm horrible to be around. But I did sew it in and did it with a tuck because I forgot the yarn stretches, so I have a little extra. But the cool of that extra is that it just tucks up when I'm not wearing it. So, the Yakutat hat, highly recommend it. It is lovely, and the pattern stands out beautifully against the background. And it was a fun knit, and I did it rather quickly. And even though I'm going to keep my hat head because it's a little chilly out here. So the yarn is Malabrigo worsted in Nostalgia. Now, how I came across this colorway, I was picking up, if you watch the podcast, you know that we were laid up pretty much, I don't know, 3-4 weeks with COVID. You don't want to get out and about until you go back and test, and you know you're completely asymptomatic. And anyway, so I did not go anywhere for a long time. But as I've told you guys before, Laura does yarn showcases. Laura with Knitter's Magic in Winchester does yarn showcases every Thursday. So she has these lovely little videos where she shows you yarn, and all you have to do is text her on her phone number and tell her what kit you want, or what colorway you want, however she does it that week. And yeah, let's just say Merry Christmas to me. So, my hat, the extra yarn and everything, my current project is living in my Christmas bag. These are done by the absolutely amazing and wonderful Mary. All of her bags are Knitter's Magic exclusives, so Laura is the only one who carries them, but I have to say, OMG. Look at this kitty cat wrapped up in lights. There's a kitty Santa and a kitty reindeer and one with a wreath on a package. And it is such the perfect fabric for me. And then it's one of my favorite color combinations is a cardinal red against a blue sky, like a baby blue sky. Do you know what I mean? Like that aqua and cranberry, or you know, oh my gosh, that is like such a glorious color combination to me. And so I've got that lovely, lovely, lovely aqua color on the outside, and the inside is this gorgeous cranberry polka dots. I love polka dots. Anyway, so this is like my favorite bag of the moment. But when I picked up my stuff, I had a few extra bags in there that I had gotten on a yarn showcase. But so now you see what I've knit, and I've been a little overwhelmed to cast on a new project. Mostly it's the trying to get back into the groove of being able to be out and about, and Christmas coming and trying to get things done. And so I officially have decided that I will not be releasing a Knitter's, Knitter's Magic. I will not be releasing a Tranquil Cottage Knits pattern for the month of December. I really just can't catch up from the downtime that I had with COVID. And so I did what I do so often with other people and said, okay, you know, what advice would you give somebody else in your situation? And the advice I would give somebody else under that pressure would be, you got sick. It's okay. People get sick. You're not superhuman. Don't expect that you are infallible. Don't hold yourself to a higher standard than you would hold other people. Just relax. It's okay. Let it go. It's okay not to get something completed. And so I have decided that I am going to just skip a pattern release for December, and hopefully I'll be back on schedule for January to get that one out. So, speaking of the holidays and standards, I have to tell you, it's so funny. I was in one of our local grocery stores, and we were in the self-checkout aisle, or the self-checkout, you know, the express lane, whatever. And there was somebody there who was fire truck or ambulance going by, sorry. There was somebody there who was quite a bit grumpy. And by saying quite a bit grumpy, I mean straight up witchy. And I looked over at another shopper, and she's just like, "What are you gonna do?" Anybody who knows me knows I am a smarty pants. And so my response was to look at them and go, "'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la," like pointedly staring at them. And another woman in line goes, "You sing it, girl!" I was a little naughty. It was, honestly, that was just rude. It was rude of me. But this person was treating other people badly, and like, I don't believe in being mean for mean's sake, and I don't believe in hate for hate's sake. You know, if you're going to be mean and you're going to be hateful, you're going to hate people, you better have a damn good reason. A darn good reason behind it. I'll have to go back and beep that out, I think. But you better have a reason behind it. Just to be hateful, to hold that in your heart, is so much more detrimental to you than it is to anybody else, and I can't in good conscience support it. So, so that is that. Oh, back to the colorway of the hat. The colorway of the hat is Nostalgia. It is Malabrigo worsted. That is long-standing, one of my favorite yarns. The colorway was curated for me by Laura. I said, you know, I wanted to do a hat, and I wanted something woolly and warm, and she knows Malabrigo is definitely one of my go-tos, and so she chose this color for me, and I think it's absolutely perfect. She says, "Well, you look really good in blues, and your favorite color is green, so I have this colorway, Nostalgia." I actually hadn't seen it before, and it's funny because the moment I saw it, it actually invoked nostalgia. A lot of people don't know this, but way back in the day, I was actually one of the original 3,000 members of Ravelry. And if you look at my stats, it doesn't say that now because I actually deleted my account. I have anxiety disorder, and I've talked about that before, so I'm not going to go into it now. But I got into a kind of a depression, and I had a really, really hard time just being social, and I was feeling undue pressure. Like, nobody was putting pressure on me, but I was feeling pressure to socialize on there. And I found myself just kind of avoiding it, and I just was in a place where I wanted to, you know, the climb into your hidey hole day, you know, and I was there, and I deleted my account. And the result of that was later I ended up creating a new account, but it was just mentally where I was at the time. So I was way back in the green days, Smurf turf, old school. I was one of the members way back when Malabrigo Junkies was founded. I was one of the original members, and so this colorway just totally did invoke nostalgia for me because it reminded me of back when they came out with the color Curacao. And this is Curacao with a little bit of darker in, so I think of this in old school Malabrigo terms. If Curacao and Va had a baby, it would be this colorway. And so it is so absolutely gorgeous. It's got just some of the darker colors in it, like the darker deep shade of like a foresty green, and it's got like some really kind of darker, almost midnight blue, but then it's got the really bright lime and the turquoise. And so yeah, this colorway just says to me nostalgia, and so I think it's kind of really neat that that's the colorway name, and Laura chose for me absolutely perfectly. So I'm really happy with this hat and the way it came out. So having said that, you guys want to see a little bit of yarn? Well, keep in mind this is, I hadn't picked up yarn from her since like my birthday haul. So, like I said, Merry Christmas to me. Last podcast, I talked about the Hat of 1,000 Stripes that I had made for a friend of mine, and that I had used the yarn Crazy. And this is, I tried really hard to describe it, but I don't think I did a good job. But this is what Crazy looks like in the skein. You can see how, let's see. So you can see here, this is the blue and the burgundy plied together. Well, when they ran out of burgundy, or vice versa, that burgundy was plied with a taupe. And then when the burgundy ran out, the taupe was plied with the yellow. Let's see if I can. So, and so on and so forth. And so that's how this is done. It's a 2-ply, and they literally, it's like they're blending, or they're plying the mill ends, and they do one color for its whole run, and as the other color runs out, they add a new color to it, and when that color runs out, they add a different one to it, and so you get these amazing one-of-a-kind skeins, and they're just so happy. But they do have rather long color repeats. So when I was talking about the Hat of 1,000 Stripes that I did, and I had talked about how I just cut the colors out of the ball, this is what I mean. When you can see when it's actually wound, when it's wound into something round, on the outside I have a little bit of this burgundy plied with this bright blue, see here, and then that burgundy is plied with a taupe. And then the burgundy ends up being plied with a deep green here. And then that deep green ends up being plied with a light green. And so basically you end up with several different blocks of color in your skeins. So that's what I meant when I said that I wind off one color. It's one 2-ply color combination, and I would just wind that off until one of the colors changes, and then start creating a new ball from that. So, I do love my Crazy, and aren't these happy together? So these are going to be something lovely, and I am also an absolute sucker for what I think of as vintage Christmas colors. So more of the barn red than the bright apple Christmas red, and more of the mixtures of the mint and the forest green. So these colors, and gold, don't forget gold. But these 3 skeins, to me, say vintage Christmas. Let's see if I can get a good example of these colors for you. There you go. And so I think I got these in the beginning of November. I don't remember what plan I had for them, but I did have a plan. And I don't know what it was. but it is going to be something lovely and warm. I can at least say that much. Let's see here. I did get this kit, trying to keep the crackling under the table so that you guys don't hear it. But there is a shawl pattern that you can do with 2 yarns held double, and it is the Eloquent Silky Kid, which is just, it's like a soft cloud. It is so unbelievably fluffy and soft, and you combine it with the Eloquent Synchronicity. I have a hard time with that one because it's synchronicity. It's sequenicity. And you can see how pretty and fine that is. Hi! Hello there! So you can see, and just how beautiful they are together. They blend, they're made to blend almost perfectly. So I do have that kit, and that's going to be something absolutely amazing. Oh, let's see what else. It's just another bag of crazy. Bad me. Good me, bad me. Oh, I have, again, I have such a love affair with Malabrigo anyway. There is a yarn that Malabrigo has that is called Arroyo, and they came out with some new colorways, and I'm a fan of this yarn anyway. It makes me happy. But this one is called Rumbo. I can't roll my R's. My high school Spanish teacher used to make me say, "Un perro es rojo." The dog is red, trying to get me to roll my R's. I cannot do it. My mother-in-law sits there and goes, "Ricardo." I could do it with my throat, not with my tongue though. But she sits there and she's like, "Ricardo, Ricardo." I can't do it. Can't do it. But she does it so well. And then she just laughs at me when I'm like, "Ricardo." Because I cannot roll my R's to save my life. But I can roll my tongue, so. But this colorway is called Rumbo. And look how beautiful this is. I cannot believe, well, I can believe because it's a very popular technique, but Malabrigo is doing speckles, and they are just so beautiful. This one is different shades of blues with a tiny bit of green and a tiny bit of yellow and brown. It is so pretty. And so I had to have it. So I got that one. And there was another colorway that they had done at the same time, or that Laura was showcasing at the same time, which, I mean, trying to get me to separate from Malabrigo is like trying to get me and my husband to divorce. Stuck together for life. That's just how it is. Sign on the dotted line to love Malabrigo, and that's what you've got, just for the rest of your existence. Just so you know. You're going to love it. Don't take it lightly. But if you've ever seen the colorway Wales Road, it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites to look at. It's gorgeous, but my favorite color is green. So I don't indulge in Wales Road quite that often because it's just not what I like. I tend to knit green things. But they came up with this colorway that is called Sir, and it looks like, it's like the purple from Wales Road and the blues from Wales Road, but they added these greens in. Oh, I wish that would focus better for you. Let's see. I think that's about as good as it's gonna get, kiddos. But it is just, Oreo is just so squishy and happy anyway. But that is one of those colorways that makes me want to save it. That makes me want to say, I can't knit it up because it must be something special. And so, I don't know what that one's going to be, but it's got to be something special. I love it so, so much. For about a bazillion years, I have wanted to knit the beekeeper's cowl, I believe. Looking to see if I have it in my... I do not. I was going to say, I thought I might have had it in my pattern list in Row Counter. I use the Row Counter app. And look it up. It's a mitts, cowl, and hat set, and then there's also a sweater, but it's the beekeeper's pattern, and I wanted to do it in Malabrigo in Sunset, and so I went ahead and got that. This is the colorway of Sunset. Oops, I just hit the mic. Sorry. It is kind of showing true to form. It's this orangey, happy color, and it's just going to be, it's got such great depth, and it's just going to be so awesome for that pattern. And I'm really excited because I've wanted to knit that forever. And not done. Like I said, Merry Christmas to me. I did get... you guys know I do like Purple Lamb. Definitely a fan of Carla. And she, like Rags Fiber, one of the things I really love about Rags Fiber is that she puts, when she makes a variegated, she does a semi-solid to go along with it. And I love that because a lot of times in multi-color or multi-skein shawls, if you have a lacy bit or a cabled bit and you're using a variegated yarn, the pattern is just completely lost in the variegation of the yarn. And I always hate that. So then it's like, well, I don't want to do a solid color shawl the whole way. I want some fun colors. I want to swap colors in it. So I love when dyers do a variegated and semi-solids to match. So she did this lovely rich brown that she calls a chocolate. So chocolate, and it pairs with this pumpkin spice latte. And that lovely brown that you see down here matches. So these are going to be something warm and happy. I don't know what. I just know that I saw the colors and was like, I need that. My husband tends to love browns and oranges, so possibly something for him, maybe. Maybe not. I didn't say that. And another local dyer, I have a couple of colorways of this. Another local dyer that that Laura carries is Valley Fiber Company, and they make some really beautiful yarn. More to the point, not only is their yarn just beautiful, the depth of their colors is just kind of amazing. I know it's so hard to see that. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I could make it focus better. But here we have a true gorgeous navy. This is a pine, I would say a pine green, a nice foresty pine green. Come on! This colorway is kind of between the two. So if you can see the depth in those, it's just so beautiful. And they also did a rust red. And I actually messaged Laura the other day and asked her to see if they have Harvest Gold in their repertoire. My husband and I listen to Stephen Reichlin with Barbecue University. We love to watch him, and he calls it a repertory. So that's kind of like our thing, is we we say it's not in my repertory. Anyway, that's why that almost came out of my mouth. But here's this gorgeous rust. It is just so beautiful, and it's screaming for a gold to go with it. So I think when I have, if they'll make me a gold, when I have the gold, that is going to be a 5-color shawl. And so I'm kind of working on the designs, playing around with the color sequence, and that's where it's headed. They are too breathtakingly gorgeous not to be put together. So that's where that's going. Oh my, I still have more bags. Another local dyer to us that is based here in town is Lady Fernaco Creations. She and her daughter have their yarn company together. One of the things I love is how she does her labels. You can get all fancy pants and pre-print all your labels, but I love the homemade touch of handwriting on a yarn label. To me, that really says small business, and that really says independent dyer. To have that handwriting on there, it makes me smile. So this is her, it's a merino and nylon blend, fingering weight. But this colorway is called Iron Man. And so I got these to go together. So what do you think? Beautiful? And again, I had a plan when I got them, which was fleeting, and I do not have that plan now. Shame on me. I'm just going to show you a couple of more. 2 more, I think. And one of them, this is a purple lamb, and again, I love Carla. I love her sense of color. When I saw this, there was no way I could not get it. I love riotous color. Color makes me happy. And take a look at this. Isn't this the most beautiful skein of yarn? She calls the colorway Autumn Leaves. I don't know that I would go with that as the name, because I think the pinky bits are a little too pink. But whatever it is gorgeous. And so I have 2 skeins of this. It's a DK weight. I think I might cast on a cow with this, because it is her Squish DK, and as you can see, it's aptly named because I'm sitting here squishing it. But it is just so beautiful, and I could not ask for a more glorious colorway. So, I'll show you that one. And then I feel like I am missing one. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Oh. Okay. So maybe 2. I told you. This is 2 months worth of yarn, all wrapped up into one. because I was COVID shopping. I could not leave the house. We were all sick, and I clicked on things that made me happy. I will tell you, when I brought this yarn home, look at this. That is so beautiful. And it's Malabrigo, and the colorway is called Immortal. Malabrigo uses vinegars in my dyes, and the smell of vinegar and wool is just intoxicating to me. But this, I also had plans for a shawl, and I'm going to have to, I started to sketch one out, but I hadn't got very far with it. And now looking at the colorway, I'm not sure. I'm not going to switch it for something a little bit more solid. But I had an idea for a design when I got that, when I had that put aside for me. So we will see where that ends up going, but that will end up being a gorgeous shawl. And then the very last one. This is the very, 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 very last one I will be showing you today. COVID shopping, y'all. Again, this is Squish DK, and so it's Purple Lamb, and it is absolutely just mushy, mush me, blah, 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 blah. Mushy, smushy happiness. This colorway is Jean Valjean, and it is from her literary collection, of course. But look at this. It is a creamy white base with black and pink and yellow and a little tiny bit of aqua, like an aqua turquoise in it. And it is just, it's got such depth, and like you can see, I'm absolutely enamored. It is really, really gorgeous stuff. And so I am happy for it. And one thing I love about my town is about 98% of the time, if you wave to somebody, they wave back. It makes me happy to be here. But I splurged on 4 skeins of this. So this can be a huge shawl. I've got so many options for what this could be. And can't wait, but I'm telling you, I literally started like prepping my husband for me bringing this box of yarn home like a week in advance. I was like, babe, I got some yarn. He's like, okay. Like, no, honey, you don't understand. I got some yarn. And he's like, okay, so why are you telling me this? And then, like, because I got some yarn. And then I realized, like, there's a commercial out where where they're doing the, they covered my home and auto, you know, and it's like you look back and you see where, like, at first they've got like a reindeer and like a strand of lights, and then they look back again, and they're like, yeah, and they covered my RV too, and then you look back again, and then like there's a wreath and more decorations out, and then finally at the end of it, his entire house is completely covered, and there's like the astronaut out in space, and they see the flashing colors back down on Earth, and they're like, are you seeing this? And I wanted to tell him it's that level of yarn. I got like that level of yarn. But again, Merry Christmas to me. There will not be another yarn splurge like this for quite a while. I have probably about 8 of these I have beginning sketches for, or beginning notes for designs. So it is part of growing my business. and growing the Tranquil Cottage in its name, and just working on my passion, which is designing and coming up with things that people want to wear and things that keep people warm inside and out. So if I can do that, then I think I'm doing a good job. That is probably going to be the officer coming through to tell me that the sun is setting and it is time to go. And Front Royal's Finest, nope, he's going to leave me alone. I was going to say Front Royal's Finest. It is getting dark and the park does shut at sundown, so I'm probably going to have to go. But with Christmas being Friday, I do not believe I will have time to podcast before then. But look for one maybe Saturday. I'll see what we can get going. But until I just looked down and realized one thing I really wanted to show you. I forgot. So Paradise Exotic Shawl Pins. It is one of the companies. It's one of the companies, or one of the makers of shawl pins that Laura carries at Knitter's Magic, and I got this one, and it looks like it's like inlaid with mother of pearl. It is just so beautiful, but I fell in love with it the moment I saw it and was like, yeah, I have to have that. But tell me this isn't the most beautiful shawl pin. I don't know if you can see the detail in him. He is so precious. I do believe his name is Foxy Fox. But I loved him so much, and they're so beautifully done. And I love foxes. So I did want to make sure to show you that, because that was very, very happy to me to be able to get a fox shawl pin. I just fell in love with it at that moment and was like, I've got to have it. So, again, I know it looks like a lot, but a lot of it is already, a good chunk of it has already plans in the makings for what it's going to be, and it is my goal to be releasing a pattern every single month, all of 2021. So if we are COVID quarantined again for longer, however this goes, hopefully we can just sit and knit a bit together, even if it's only online. You're always welcome to join me at the Tranquil Cottage. If you would like, I have a recipe for what they call in my house my famous boozy hot chocolate. So if you guys are hot chocolate fans, I will happily share that recipe with you. There's no actual alcohol in the hot chocolate itself, but there is in the whipped cream, and it is delicious. And then I put it under the broiler and toast the marshmallows on top. So, if you guys would like that, maybe that can be my gift to all of you guys, to post on the blog of my boozy hot chocolate recipe. And I hope you guys have an absolutely amazing, wonderful holiday season, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you all. I hope to talk to you again, and just remember, if you encounter a grump, please feel free to yell Christmas carols at them, especially ones that say, "'Tis the season to be jolly," while glaring markedly in their direction with a sardonic smile. Still the hottest of hot messes, y'all. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Mwah. Bye.
Some days I feel the weight of this world in my hands, in my hands. I hear the song of unrest and uncertainty. I think of lending the wind all my plans, giving up all I have to my empathy. sky. And some days I'm drowning, and some days I can't fly. But as we close our doors to those from troubled shores, I feel like I'm falling into my screen. As we find the facts, do we turn our backs and let it all get lost between the cracks? Or does anybody want to share my empathy, my empathy? Does anybody want to bear this weight with me, this weight with me? Some nights I feel the ache of our earth in my head, in my head. I hear the drum of destruction, the drum of war. I lie awake and I ask from my bed, have we forgotten what we need each other for? My breath is an anchor, my body a ship. Both hands at the helm now, I tighten my grip. As these waters rise and we avert our eyes, I'm paralyzed, my two hands can't do so